in the future again, you know, and of course we want to offer some classes on the Zoom together. So we'll talk about that too. And also I want to share her experience, and I want to show you, dear friends, her experience about Reiki healing. I know because she told me, but I want to hear from Jackie as a person who has a lot of experience. If you don't mind telling me a little bit about Reiki healing, and,
Sure.
and share your experience about it.
Yeah, definitely. So I remember I was probably 16 or 17, and I had a dream with all of these symbols in my dream, and I didn't know what the symbols were, but they were just kind of all over and floating around. And when I woke up, I immediately had the word Reiki, and I had never heard that word before, and I
Wow.
had no idea what it was. And I went to school, I was in high school, and then after school, I went to my part-time job at Sanctuary off of White Avenue. They recently closed their doors, but I did work there for about 8 years. And I went to work and I started dusting the bookshelf, which was one of my, duties forever. And then all of these books on Reiki were there, and I had probably seen them a dozen times and never noticed them. And all of a sudden, there's all these books about Reiki, and people start coming in and they're asking me all these questions, and I just seem to know the answer, even though I don't know. And then I decided I wanted to learn Reiki. And it took me a very long time to find somebody. I couldn't find anyone that would teach Reiki. I would go online and search it, and nothing would come up. I would talk to someone that came into the store and they had done training. And I go, who did you do it with? I need to know so I can go and do it. And they would either not remember, or the person moved away, or they were like, oh, I didn't really like it, so I wouldn't recommend it. And I'm going, okay, universe, like I just want to learn Reiki and what is going on. And then one day I just came across this lady teaching Reiki, and I took her course like a couple months later, I think. And the most powerful part for me was the attunement. So that's when, as a student, you're sitting in Gassho. That's when you have your hands in prayer position.
Yes, yes.
And your eyes lightly closed, and you're receiving the energetic ritual or initiation, whatever you want to call it, where your energy is tuned to a greater degree with the life force energy that flows through all of us. And those attunements were just the most astounding thing I have experienced. My hands were just hot, 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 and on fire.
Wow.
I could feel it through my whole body.
Yeah.
And I got all sorts of messages during the attunements about things I needed to change in my life. And I respected that. I went home and I immediately started making those changes that my guides were telling me. And I did Reiki every night on myself. They suggest for 21 days when you're first initiated.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
at the end of the 21 days, I had received so much that I thought, why on earth would I stop doing this just because 21 days is up? So since then, I do Reiki on myself pretty much every day. Sometimes, often before I go to sleep, but it can be in the middle of the day or first thing in the morning. And Reiki has really changed my life. It's softened me as a person. It's helped me to have more compassion and peace and understanding for others. And it helps me to heal myself. I know my body is very strong and healthy and continues to be that way from Reiki energy. And then as a teacher, seeing my students work with Reiki, seeing their experiences and their clients' experiences is just so heartwarming and so empowering to see that energy and this wonderful gift of Reiki being shared in our world.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
a beautiful journey. And thank you for sharing that with me and with us. But I also want to say thank you, everybody, for joining here on the Facebook. So I have on Instagram here, Jackie with me. You cannot see Jackie on a Facebook, but you can hear her, and I will try to communicate the message back and forth. So next time, hopefully, we can figure out this technical difficulty.
Definitely.
The best we can. So I will repeat some questions, and if you have any questions for Jackie or myself, I will actually read them out loud. Or if you want a private question, you can send it on a messenger, and I won't mention your name. If you wanted something personally to be asked, we will, of course, try our best to help you. So I want to say, everybody, welcome here. So many people are joining on Facebook. Thank you, Lydia, Marco, Montenegro, USA, Florida, California. There is even Serbia, Bulgaria, India. Many people are joining all around. And we disappear now on the Facebook. So forgive me, my dear, I have to cut you off. I don't know why, but maybe, last time there was an issue with connection too. So I'm going to just go back. So forgive me. Live. So there we go. I apologize. Start. And I don't know what is it. Sometimes it just the picture disappear by itself. So I apologize. Like I said, welcome everybody for joining back. We disappeared for a moment, and it's just the connection itself. I also want to welcome our friends all over from on the Instagram that are joining us. And like I said, this will be on my YouTube channel where you will be capable of seeing this interview all over again. And that way we can have fun and enjoy. And if you have any suggestion, or if you like to join us in a live video, please let us know. We like to have people joining us and talking to us. So I know, my dear, you told us about the Reiki, and I was just reading one message here from Jeff on a Facebook. He's actually asking, would you recommend Reiki for the ladies that are trying to become pregnant, or they are, having issues with the pregnancy? What would be your suggestion for that?
Yeah, definitely Reiki would be a really good choice. So when you're working with life force energy, that is the energy of creation when we think about children coming into the world. So Reiki would feel like a perfect modality for me to be working with. And then
yes,
anything can be worked with energy. And when we do energy work, one of the most crucial steps is setting an intention. So when we work with a client one-on-one, we get really clear on what their needs are and what is happening in their life, so that we can set a really clear intention that is where we focus our energy to come through and work with that person. So definitely anything to do with reproductive, issues, getting pregnant, having a healthy pregnancy, that sort of thing. Reiki would be a really wonderful choice.
Wonderful. I actually would agree with that. So what I can also mention to Jeff, I had a couple of the clients that had a pregnancy issues, and more than a couple of them did benefit. I'm not saying we can totally treat infertility, but we can help increase basically relaxation and also production of the ovaries, so the ovaries can release the eggs easier. And also when it comes to conception itself, when woman is mostly more relaxed, and actually she's under the less of the stress, conception does happens easier. So I hope this will help you out. If you have any question, again, you can also email me or email Jackie. We will be more than happy to help you. And I have another question, Jackie, here. It's from Tina, and Tina comes from Italy. Tina from Italy, so beautiful. She's asking, she said as a child, she went through the sexual assault. And now that she's becoming older, it bothers her a lot. So she's asking, love you too, guys, everybody, I love you very much. So she's asking, would Reiki help her with her sexual abuse that she went through as a child?
So one of the things that I really love about Reiki is it's a twofold practice. It works on the physical level and it works on the spiritual level. And a lot of Reiki practitioners and a lot of Reiki courses focus only on the physical healing. And this is such a disservice because it's the yin and yang. You can't have one without the other. If you're only focusing on one element, you don't really become like a robust, fully rounded person. So when I do energy work and I channel Reiki energy for people, we really tap into the mental and emotional fields for people. And often we store that trauma energetically and physically in our body. So when we receive energy work like Reiki, we're able to release those energetic holds within our body. We can release the trauma that's being stored, and that can help us to really be replenished and to remember how we were and who we were before our traumas have happened. So that way you're living a true identity and you're not living a new identity, or a new identity now getting over this. You can take all of that away and just come back to the pure, true essence of who you are. So I work a lot with people who have sexual trauma. I've had sexual trauma myself, and I often feel that as a practitioner, the things that you have personally moved through, you're often so much better able to help others because
Yes.
you have that underlying rapport and connection. You understand what it feels like and
Yes,
how
yes.
that affects you emotionally. So absolutely, working with Reiki will be such a gentle way to slowly peel those layers of trauma and pain.
Yes.
There's usually a lot of shame that comes up, and people often feel that they deserved it, or they're mad at themselves for not stopping it.
Yes, yes.
So that is usually more what needs clearing than what has happened or something from the other person. It's usually more about us. And Reiki is a perfect modality to take us into that journey with the safety of a practitioner, to hold that space for you, to keep you safe, and to guide you on the journey.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that and sharing your personal experience. Like I'm joining here on Facebook with everybody. So like I'm saying, on the other side, I have a wonderful Jackie from the Golden Lady Studio. She's very talented. She's actually Reiki master, healer, shaman. She has experience in color therapy, meditation. My personal friend, I call her my sister. We've been through a lot together. I can say,
Absolutely.
yes, I can say we support each other a lot. She has a good heart. And so if you cannot see her face on a Facebook, you can still hear her. We're going to fix this on the other time, but you will be capable of seeing this whole video together, me and Jackie, both of us on my YouTube channel and on a Facebook together, and later on Instagram. So we're going to try our best. Hopefully next time we can fix this little technical difficulties. We are trying our best. So that was a beautiful explanation. Since we work in a very difficult environment, and a lot of times I do find men and women, sometimes we become stereotypes and we say only the people that will be sexually assaulted would be women, but actually there's many men. I work with many men that we've been sexually assaulted as a children. And, they feel ashamed, they feel guilty, especially because they're men, so their pride has been hurt. So when I work with them, I do use Reiki sometimes, and I also use meditation. I try my best to approach them. And like you said, the best approach is to feel them safe so they don't feel guilty, ashamed, and they think that they don't deserve something like this. So I love what you are sharing. And I'm going to read another question for you. So this question is actually from Andrea from San Francisco. So Andrea from San Francisco is asking, can this basically help you out, like Reiki and meditation, with losing the weight? What would be your answer?
So weight loss is such an interesting thing to think about. So we have the physical body, but then we also have the emotional body. And a lot of people, when they're trying to lose weight, they focus only on the physical, right? They're dieting, they're exercising, they're cutting out foods. And there's so much deprivation that comes with that, right? If I want to look like this, I can't eat this, and this, or I can only eat this much of this. So you're creating a lot of lack, and you're focusing on all of the energy that is kind of negative associated, right?
Yes.
And the other thing we have to consider is, what made us gain weight in the first place. So we really need to look at our emotional field and to see, are there issues with self-worth? Is there, like a poverty mentality that comes up for this person?
Yes.
And
Yes.
sometimes people have like a thyroid issue or a different hormonal imbalance in the body that it just makes them gain weight. They can eat nothing but carrot sticks and they'll still gain 15 pounds, right? So I think one of the biggest things I like to focus on with weight loss is sometimes you have to just say, this isn't my fault.
Yes, I agree. Totally agree. Totally agree.
This is what is, this is what's happened.
Yes.
But you can't take on shame or guilt about it.
Yes.
The first thing you have to do is love and accept yourself exactly as you are. I'll share a personal story with weight loss. This was probably about a decade ago.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, it's important because I learned so much from this experience. So I always wanted to be thin. What woman doesn't dream of being the thin, perfect picture of beauty?
Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Exactly. Nobody feels that they are perfect, but we are all perfect exactly as we are. We just need to accept that and recognize it. So I went on this long journey. It took me about a year and a half. And I cut out so many foods. All I was eating was fresh fruits and vegetables. I couldn't have nuts. I couldn't have fat. I couldn't have sugar. I couldn't have alcohol. If I had any of those things, like just one portion, I'd gain 5 pounds. And it would take me a week or longer to get it off. So I was eating a very, very restricted diet. And I rode my bicycle everywhere. Like in a week, I probably did about 200 to 500 kilometers on a bicycle a week. I was going to the gym.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
3 days a week. I was rock climbing in the gym 1 day a week. I was swimming 1 day a week, and I would go hiking for an afternoon at least. So I was doing on average 3 to 6 hours of exercise a day. And I got down to 145 pounds, which is still actually not that small. Like when people think about numbers, 145 is still not that low. But
you are tall. You are tall. People that don't know you, because I can tell you, sorry to cut you off, but Jacqueline is tall. You are much taller than me. So, yeah, you are tall. You're tall.
So I felt really good. I had achieved what I wanted, and I could wear 1 to 2 sizes smaller, and I felt very trim and slim. And I remember one day I put on this dress that I had wanted to buy for months, but it was too small for me. There was only one size and it was too small. And I put it on and it fit. And I just pranced around and I felt so magical. It was so joyful. And I was twirling. And when I twirled, I caught myself from the corner of my eye in the mirror. And I just was pulled into the mirror. Like there was just this magnetism that pulled me into the mirror. And all I did was lock eyes with myself. And the longer I did that for, the more the joy disappeared. Wow. And the more I realized that for the last year and a half, I had worked tirelessly to lose weight, to be thin, to be this, to be that. And physically on an outward level, I had achieved that. But when I looked in my eyes, I was the exact same person that I was a year and a half ago. Because I had done zero self-work.
Yeah.
I had done nothing to address what was going on inside myself. So I went back to my lifestyle. I started to enjoy food a bit more. I started to enjoy time with friends more than just exercise. And I gained back about 15 pounds. And that's the weight I'm at right now. I'm about 160 pounds. And that's just a weight that my body likes to be at. My body likes to be...
But you are happy.
I am happy. I'm extremely happy.
You are happy.
So when we think about weight loss, to me, there's so much that needs to be addressed. You can't just address your waist size or what dress size you're wearing or how many pounds the scale tells you are, because fat weighs way less than muscle. So
Yes.
if tomorrow you start working out and you're lifting weights and you're
Yes.
doing a lot of weight bearing activities, you will gain weight and you might even gain inches because the muscles take shape and they form and they make you larger.
Yes.
So there's so much we need to think about. And what I find is Reiki helps you to find self-love and self-acceptance. And meditation helps you to clear your mind and get into a place of who are you truly and what is truly going on for you. And it's not about
The number.
the number, it's not
It's
about the
not about
outside
the number.
world,
Exactly. It's not
anything
about
like
the number.
that.
Yeah.
So weight loss to me, people ask me all the time, oh, can this help me lose weight? Can this help me lose weight? Can this help me lose weight?
Yes.
And I say, yes, but there's a but.
Exactly. Yes.
And the but is all about you. It's your
You
inward,
inside.
your
Yes.
inward self. And Reiki helps to bring that to the surface and helps you to heal those unhealed wounds or issues and brings them to your awareness and your attention. So I've had people come that want to work on weight loss, and we get
Yes.
into the emotions and we get into the spiritual side of things. And most of the time, they come out and they're happy just the way they are.
Exactly.
And that to me is what matters most. So Reiki can certainly help you, but it's not going to just make you lose
Yes.
5 pounds by coming for a session.
So that's a beautiful story. Thank you again. I hope everybody could hear it on a Facebook. And what I can add to that, to address Andrea here, Andrea from San Francisco, she asked the question about losing the weight. Losing the weight, like I agree here with Jackie, and I love your story. Thank you for being so personal and close to each and every one of us. Like with me, we know one another, but now thousands of the people around the world will be watching this and they don't know you, but I do know you. So it's different. But I can say, number is not everything. I know people that are really thin, but they are really unhappy. I know people that are really a little bit on a heavier side, but they're really happy, or somebody in the middle. There is an issue. When you are too small, then you are not good either. If you are too big, then you are not good either. The most thing is to be happy with yourself. When you are happy with yourself, that's when society will respect you and see you for who you are. So what I would address about the weight, and I would agree here with Jackie, it's a big issue, and the weight is not about the magical number. It's about finding the inner peace. And I think Reiki can help you find the inner peace and find yourself. And that way you can find that number that would actually suit you and suit your, I should say, a weight number. But also, I don't think women or a man, especially on this side, you're talking with a woman, shouldn't be so obsessed with the scale. Because, if man really loves you, they will love you for who you are. It doesn't matter what size or number you are. It's how you show yourself, Of course, we all like to be, like you said, pretty and whatever, but we are all first humans, and we need to be accepted by our loved ones for who we are. And then after that, the rest of the world will come by itself. So I, again, thank you, Jackie, so much for sharing such a personal story with all of us in here, and I hope other people will be capable of learning from your story, and especially young women and men, but the ladies or teenagers can see that number is not important thing. But of course, Reiki can help you out to find yourself and maybe find that inner peace and find that magical number. I have another question here. Thank you. Who is this? Oh, Caroline Cole. Thank you very much. Many people are joining here. So I'm very, very happy about everybody joining in. I love everybody. The question is very, actually very compact. So I'm going to read it. I was looking above to try to read it again. So this person said, if you can keep my name private. And I said, no problem. But when I read the question, person will understand. So this person is saying they have an issue with the love life. Would basically any kind of meditation, Reiki, or anything help them improve their love life? So basically we're talking here because there's some issue probably of getting the passion and getting the intimacy on a higher peak. So what do you think? Can any of the meditation, Reiki, crystal healing, anything like that help with personal problem like this.
Absolutely. So, you might not know the answer, but is this person in a partnership and they're finding that
Yes, so they
yeah,
cannot
okay.
they cannot get that peak of a love they want to get.
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
often to me, this comes when there's like an energetic disconnect between the two people. And it might not be intentional. It's not something that, you know, you had a fight and now this is here, or it doesn't have to come from anything. Sometimes that's just how energy, it's like the connection on Instagram. Sometimes it just goes out and comes back in. So what I would suggest for a couple would be, you know, go and pick out some crystals that you both really love. They don't have to be about love. Just go to a crystal shop and pick out maybe like 3 to 5 crystals each that just really speak to you about your love for your partner, or that kind of like elicit, you know, excitement or intrigue or interest for you. And then I would say go home, you know, have a nice meal together, maybe go have a shower or a bath
Yes.
together.
Yes.
And that is more about cleaning. That's about like an energetic cleanse, so that you're moving through your stuff and you're showing up to do the work together from a really pure and clear place.
Wonderful.
And then light some candles and put your crystals out in a circle around your bodies and hold hands and just go through a nice guided meditation. You could either take turns, like guiding each other through the next part of the meditation, or you could probably just go to YouTube, anything like that, and find, you know, like an intimacy or a passion meditation for each other. And do that together. You want to create experiences together that bring your energy back into alignment and into unity, but you're also looking to address, you know, creating more of that excitement and that root chakra energy. So listening to like a lot of drumming music, you know, you look at a lot of like the African drumming, to me especially, really gets that going and moving. Eating spicier foods or red foods to really just kind of pick that energy up and get it moving and circulating through your body. So that would definitely be my suggestions for reconnect with a partner.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So I hope the person they're saying thank you. So I'm really grateful that they are hearing you and that they can find a solution. When it comes to intimacy, what I can add, sometimes we all get really scared about that thing and we think, you know, it's very bad or we don't want to talk about it. But actually, many people, I even said, I'm very close to my mother. You know that. My mother is my best friend. And the other day, you know, people were saying, oh, sexual stuff. I said, do you actually know what the word sex means? And many people don't know, because when you translate it from the Latin, it means sacred energy exchange. So it's an exchange of the energy of two people that do love one another, and they become one energy connected to the universe. So it's actually very beautiful in one way when you look at it as a science or as a medical field explaining through it. And many, but of course, to the movies, you know, joking, it's uncomfortable. But I feel very happy that this person felt really comfortable. Oh, thank you very much. Everybody's sending kisses and hugs here on the Facebook. So I'm very happy that people are feeling comfortable to ask questions, you and me, that we can help them out. Another thing that I can add when it comes to the sacred energy exchange or the peak, what I can tell you guys, actually, I found out that using a lot of roses, you know, it helps out, because you're actually bringing the smell and the love into the air. So incense like the roses are really great. I also heard, now this is an ancient, we're gonna go back to the Eastern Europeans. So and as a Greek Orthodox, we're gonna go to Aphrodite side. So basically, you know, orchids are really beautiful flower, because they are connecting us to the sacred energy exchange, because they are actually, many people don't know what orchids are. Jackie will probably laugh because I know she knows, but orchids do present male testicles. So they are actually presenting the beauty between connection of the female and the male. So, you know, bringing in some orchids, lighting the candles, you know, and just I think the more people need to release is the tension. But I'm really grateful that this person felt very comfortable asking this question, because I know it's a little bit, oh, thank you very much. They're saying thank you, thank you. So I'm really grateful that we can help you out, and that I have a Jackie on this side with her expertise to share how we can increase and help you with your love life, because we all want to be loved. We all want to be happy. Who doesn't want that? Like who? I don't, I work with so many people, and I openly say to all of my friends, tell me, who doesn't want to be happy? Who doesn't want to be loved? Who doesn't want to be understood? Who doesn't want to be supported? I think every human being, it doesn't matter what religion, what color, what race, because I think we're all children of the universe, want one same thing. They want love, they want respect, they want understanding. And I think when you all get that, we are all better people, but we need to give that back. Mm-hmm. So I'll read another question to you, my dear. So this question is straightforward, and I actually have here Allison from Atlanta, and Allison from Atlanta is actually asking, can you guys tell me a little bit more about rooting yourself? Is it okay to walk barefoot on the dirt, and does that help you finding yourself? Thank you, Allison from Atlanta. So what do you think, my dear, if you want to share?
Yeah, that's a really
grounding yourself. I think she was saying grounding, but she was saying rooting. That's okay, Allison. We understood what you meant.
Oh yeah, yeah. And there's lots of words that are interchangeable, like earthing, grounding, centering. All of those are pretty interchangeable.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a really great question. That's something a lot of people need more of. We often need more of a connection with the earth and to really bring ourselves down. So in my opinion, we are all energetic beings that come to this planet to have a physical experience. And as energetic beings, we're always like moving our energy up, going back home. And the idea is to actually bring yourself deeper into the earth plane to have a more enriched experience on this planet. So earthing is a great way to really bring your energy and your essence down and into your body. And manifesting for me is really about moving into the earth plane. You can have all sorts of great ideas and great energy floating around, but if you're not physically connected, this all stays up here. You need to bring it all in and get it out into the world. So this is kind of a two-step thing to me. Rooting is when we go into the root chakra, which is at the base of the spine. And that can kind of be the space between your anus and your genitals for men and for women. So it's a very centered, deep part of who we are. This is your primal energy. This is your life force and your creative energy. Yes. Is where your spark comes from. So when we root, we're connecting all of our chakras together. We're bringing everything to that base primal area of the body. But that's only halfway down your body when you think about it, right? You still have your legs and then your feet. So rooting to me isn't enough. Rooting is step one. Rooting is taking your energy and aligning yourself so that you can further be centered and earthed, or grounded if you prefer the term grounded. So step one definitely is about rooting. Step two is when you take that rooting where you're all nice and centralized and you move that energy through your legs down into your feet and into the earth. And that for me is what I call earthing. So walking barefoot on the earth, absolutely. But if you're just taking off your shoes and you're going about your day walking, you're not earthing, you're just walking. You have to be very mindful and very present when you do this exercise. You want to be aware of the soles of your feet and what the earth feels like. You want to move your feet and dig them into the earth. You want to move your breath into your feet and feel yourself deepening and sinking into the earth and breathing that energy up. Right? So you're cycling that energy. You're breathing your energy up, down, and you're moving your energy into the earth. And then you're pulling the earth's energy up into your body.
Totally. Yes.
Yeah. So that is a really wonderful practice. It's great for your health. It's good for relaxation. It's good for balancing your physical and energetic bodies. But you have to do it mindfully. If you're just doing it for the sake of doing it, it's no different than saying, oh, I'm going to meditate. But what's on the TV, right? That's not what we're doing. You have to be focused on what you're doing.
I just finished reading. I had a big readings before actually you and I connected, and everything has to be shut off. And of course, in the studio is always quiet when you do the reading and everything. But that's how you connect to the person, and that's how you can feel each other's energy and transfer the energy to the tarot cards. So I'm glad Allison is saying thank you. So thank you, Allison from Atlanta. So I'm really grateful that she did enjoy your answer. And I totally agree. If you are doing the rooting and the grounding, you cannot just do meditation, blah. You should be deeply connected, find the relaxation area, maybe beside the ocean. Atlanta has a beautiful beaches, places to meditate. You can also do it in your room. You can do it in the evening with relaxing music, with candles. Whatever you enjoy. I found that actually you're gonna laugh, but many of you know me. Hello, Dr. Krishna. Welcome, welcome. Wonderful person, wonderful gentleman here is with us. I admire him very much. So basically, it's my cup of tea. But I found my holy moment is with cup of tea. At that moment, I will disconnect from everything. Even if I'm at working, doing a project or something, even driving in my car, just give me that moment and I will refresh my mind. I will get my thoughts together. So I agree with you. It can be many different things, but of course, like you said, it can be actually it's grounding and the rooting together, and it's very important. So Allison, thank you very much for that question. And Jackie, your input was great, and I totally agree. I'm going to read another question, and I love this question. And the person is asking, when you guys experience Reiki, both of you, when you connected and you were studying Reiki or learning Reiki from one another, I learned it from Jackie. Tell me, how did you feel? So your first meeting with me, how did you feel?
It was such a breath of fresh air when we met for the first time. It was just when our eyes connected and we just kind of came together. For me, there was just such a sense of connection and us having known each other for a very long time energetically in past lives, that our relationship is very old and very sacred. And this was like a reunion for us to come together and to get to share in this. And although you were, the student, it didn't feel like a typical relationship with a student. It was very on par and very parallel. There was a lot of reciprocal energy and a lot of sharing going on between both of us, and just a very gentle, smooth energy, very easy, very breezy. The friendship.
Oh, so beautiful. Oh, I love you, sister. Yeah. So what I can say, like I told you, everybody knows my journey, how I studied this ancient healing, and I was getting connected to the spirit lake, and I wanted to learn more about Reiki. I was meeting Geshe, and then I found Jackie. And what I can say, I deeply do believe in past lives, and me and Jackie do know each other from the past lives. Everybody's giving us thumbs up now at Facebook. So I must say I connected deeply with her. She wasn't just a teacher, she was an old friend. And I felt very comfortable with her. I felt very connected. I felt accepted. And I felt really safe. And especially in my ways, sometimes, Jackie knows that, sometimes people judge you because, you do this and you do your hair this way, but she accepted me for who I am. And I accepted her in her hug. I felt really warm. I felt really welcome. And like I said, it wasn't awkward. And I felt like this is my old friend. And thank you for being part of my life in this lifetime again. So I'm very, very happy. Very happy. Just like, the people are asking now about the past life. So the question, this is very cute question. So they're asking you, Jackie, what you were in your past life? Give us one sample.
Oh my goodness, there are so many. I will share one. I think I was was probably 14 or 15, and I went to like a group past life regression. And I had this really tangible experience of being like a Scottish woman.
Wow.
In the Highlands, just standing on the top of a cliff and staring out at the ocean, and like the wind's just blowing by my face and my hair's all blowing in the wind.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
I'm wearing, I must be like more of like a farmer or a peasant. Like I'm wearing a very simple linen shift with a white apron, and the apron's kind of blowing in the wind. And I can feel all the salt from the water on my lips. Like I can
Wow.
feel the
Wow.
salt. And I had such a sense of that. I knew who I was. And I lived my life from my own authority of who I was, and everything I did in that life revolved around my self-worth and just being so strongly affirmative that this is who I am, this is how I live my life, and it didn't matter to me what anybody else did. And that message was so strong and so clear, and it was so needed for me at that age, because I was a very spiritually connected person, but most people my age are more interested in shopping and boys than they are thinking about their soul and their connection. And I felt very lost, and I didn't feel like I had a good sense of who I was. So embodying who I had been in a past life and feeling how strong her convictions were really helped me to further embrace that energy for myself.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. So some of you know that I had couple life experiences that I did share. And one of my life experiences, it happened to be in England. That's where I know Jackie from, and there's no coincidence for. But I was very poor. That's why I'm trying to say to everybody, when you go to somebody who is a medium, psychic, or whatever, or they're presenting themselves that way, they start telling you're a Queen of England, and you were this, you were that. Please stand up, because 90% of us were not that. So it's waste of money, because they want you to feel good. I think you would agree with me.
Yeah, everyone gets to be like a princess,
oh,
king. Yeah, like nobody is the dirty peasant.
I had a cousin. I was very young then, and I was scared to tell her it's a lie. She came to me and she said, "Oh, Daniel, this woman, she told me I was a Queen of England." And I looked at her, I said, "Yeah, right." But anyway, if that makes her feel good, it's fine. But anyway, how I connect to Jackie, I lived, and I was very poor. I will admit I was very poor, and I was selling apples on the, basically on piazza would be on Italian, but it would be on the market on the Greek, and fresh like market. And I would sell these apples, whatever. And I fall in love with a soldier, what was actually not allowed at that time. And we've been together, what was not allowed at that time. So I was punished, and I was locked in a monastery, and that's where I died. So that's where I know Jackie from. My last experience, last experience before coming to this lifetime is actually that I'm connected deeply to New York. That was my previous lifetime, and I deeply believe in souls coming back, and they come in a different way, and that's where I actually lived. So that's why I'm very deeply, very deeply connected to New York, and New York lives in my heart. It's my city. So that's basically what I believe in. And I believe many of us live a different lifetimes, and nothing happens for coincidence. Even me and Jackie today talking to you guys, this is not coincidence. This is written above. Me and her meeting one another, you guys meeting the person that you love, your friend, doing a postcard, having an argument, for example. It's not a coincidence. This is what it's meant to be. It's meant to be, to give you a right path in a right direction. That's what it is. But I love talking about the past lives. I think they're very beautiful. They are very connected to who we are today. I think you would agree with that, because, for example, you said you were very spiritual in your past life, but now you continue that path. That means your mission is not done yet. Just like, I was cutting my life very shortly, but I was very spiritual. That's why I was locked up in a monastery. And, or my, prior to this lifetime living in New York, all what I had was hope because I was an immigrant and I was very poor trying to survive. So that's why I'm back to this continent again. I think because even if I was born in Europe on another continent, I'm brought here because my mission is here. This is what it is. I have another question, and we have 6 more minutes. So I'll read this beautiful question to you, Jackie. It's actually, I think you would like it. They're asking you, what do you think about tarot cards?
Oh, cards.
Forgive me. It's a question from Simone from Houston. From Houston. So Simone from Houston is asking, what do you think about tarot cards? I have them here, everybody. Hello.
Yeah, for me, cards are such a wonderful tool of divination. You tap into your own energy while you're picking the cards, or someone like Danielle, who's a wonderful teacher for the rest of us. When you're shuffling the cards or handling the cards, or if it's distance, I've done distance tarot with Danielle. So she holds my energy while I hold my thoughts and my questions and my intentions, and then she will pick cards. So the cards that surface are energetically tied to your energetic field. So it's such a true method of divination because you're tapping right into the person's energy directly. I don't want to say too much more because I think you should pick a card and tell us about the card. I think that's what we should do.
Okay. Do you want to choose the card, or do you want me to read the cards for them, or do you want me to read the
cards?
You
do the cards for them. You do a card for them, for Seymour.
Okay, so let's see what kind of evening we're gonna all have, including all of us together. So one on the Facebook that follow us right now, on the Instagram, later will be on the YouTube. So let's see what kind of evening we're gonna all have today. Oh, so here I have a King of Cups. Can you see it? Everybody can see it. So King of Cups, it's a beautiful card. It's actually connected to authority, power, and a male figure. But it's also connected to pleasure and self-healing. So what are we doing right now? We are doing self-healing. We are healing ourselves through this connection, through sharing personal stories, and basically trying to find our inner peace in ourselves. Also, the evening can be connected with the male. So most of us maybe will be surrounded with a male figure. It could be your father, your loved one, somebody you want to talk to, or maybe even somebody you want to have on your mind. It could be somebody across the sea. It could be a person across the sea that you are thinking of. For example, that would be me. So I'm being honest. Then also, he's holding a cup, so he's holding a chalice high up, but he's presenting basically food, freedom, and victory. So it could be that you're trying to win something, you're trying to find some goals or find yourself. So also this evening, I will ask you a little bit to think about personal things that you would like to do, about some small goals that you would like to achieve and how to achieve them, and take a little steps, just like a waves of the ocean. Take a little steps and think about them, how to find yourself, and I'm sure you'll find a solution, because that's this evening the message from the tarot. So I hope you like it on the Facebook, Instagram. I don't know, Jackie, if I touch your heart.
It's a lovely card. I love it. Perfect.
Thank you. So one last question, because we have 3 more minutes, and then you and I will do the closure. I love this question because the person is asking you, it said, I love you both. So hugs, we love you too. So, and he's saying, my name is Marguerite, and I would like to know if it's possible, if you can tell me how I can connect through my past lives, or to my, forgive me, or to my dreams, if I do meditation or anything else. Big hugs and kisses to both of you from Allison Massentutas. Forgive me, everybody, I have a problem pronouncing that. So thank you, Allison. So I will let our beautiful Jackie answer first, then I will let you know my opinion.
Sure. So for me, when people are trying to do more with dream work and connect with their soul's journey throughout the evening, in the daytime, this is all your physical reality that your soul is a part of. But It's your physical body that runs your day. And when you're sleeping, that is when your spirit self gets to really come to the surface and share. So when you're trying to do dream work, go to bed and fall asleep with the intention to connect with your dreams and to remember them. And then when you wake up, just start writing. Have a journal. Don't use your phone because that's too much. It's you got to write it.
I
You
agree.
can't use
I agree. Too much.
yeah, or you could talk to your phone, I guess, if you had to, but it would be better to write. And you're just going to free write. You pick up a pen and a piece of paper, your journal, and you just start writing anything and everything about the dream. And it doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to be linear. It can be all over the place. And the more you connect and just get it written out, the more you start to teach your conscious and your subconscious mind to come together so that when you're awake and when you're asleep are not
cut off for a second.
You can.
Here we go. We're coming back.
We
have you. For a second, we lost you. Said
yeah.
For a connect, but that's a beautiful explanation. I totally agree. What I can say for both of my friends on the Facebook and on the Instagram here, and of course to our lovely lady that loves us both. I'm deeply connected to my dreams, and I will do teaching on the astral traveling. I'll have one special episode just about the astral traveling, when you can connect and actually go to a different places in astral traveling. Jackie will know I actually can go and be into somebody's house if I really connect to it, and I'll describe it. But sometimes I'm quiet because I don't want to scare people. But that's your spiritual soul actually disconnecting from your physical body. And this is also proven by the top scientists, if we're talking about Stephen Hawking, Nikola Tesla, and many others. And now we have the huge labs in Washington actually doing the research on it. Then, of course, if you want to connect through your dreams, I agree, the journal, totally agree with that. Also, what I would recommend, it would be in the morning, when you first thing that you get up, think about what you felt regarding that dream. Were you happy? Were you unhappy? Were you curious? If you were unhappy, it means you're trying to solve a problem or something. If you are happy, that means you're going towards to something better. If you are curious, that means you have to find the answer. So everything, it depends, of course, from a dream and what kind of dream. Is it a lucid dream? Was a traumatic dream? There's many different kind of dreams that you can basically see and hear about it. Another thing, what I can say, if you really want to connect to your past lives through the dreams, a wonderful thing would be meditation. If you go on a certain area, I love to meditate beside the water. So, for example, if you're talking about Jasper, Banff, Florida, beside the ocean, New York, beside the ocean, sit there and just put yourself in a Gasho pose and try to, take deep breaths, because taking the breaths in and out, you're actually calming down your heart, you're putting the blood pressure down, and you're connecting with a higher level. You are spreading your aura around and you're connecting and you're finding the inner peace. Don't be scared. It takes, I think you would agree with me, Jackie, as a master, in Reiki and meditation, it takes some time for you to get there, but you will get there, give it a little bit of practice and give it some time.
Patience is a virtue.
Exactly. And try your best, give it a little bit time, and, you will get there. So that's what I can say. But like I'm saying, astral traveling, there'll be a special just episode about the astral traveling. And I'm sure Jackie will be part of it, and many of the wonderful people that are really talented, just like she is. Again, I want to first say thank you to Jackie from the Golden Age Studio, Reiki Master, Meditation Master, Shaman, Crystal Healing teacher, color teacher. What else I can tell? My wonderful friend, my wonderful sister. I'm looking forward to see her again. Me and her will actually see each other next week. And thank you again for joining me here. You have a wonderful evening. Love and light here from the New Age Studio. And thank you for joining me here on Body, Mind, and Spirit. All the blessings to you, my dear.
Thank you so much for hosting and for organizing, getting it all together. Thank you so much for having me. I love these nights. They're a really wonderful connection with everyone. It's so nice to see people connecting and enjoying what we're sharing and getting benefit from it. So I look forward to the next time, and I can't